Hi fans of high quality entertainment, lots of exciting stuff going on here. Maybe not for you, but for me. Tonight, May 25th, if you're watching this today, May 25th, 2023, not 2024, I'm doing a live chat at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'll have a pinned link in the comments section below, and you'll see the live chat on my front page at that time. So just go to my front page at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and you'll see me gabbing away there. And we'll talk about, I don't know, maybe music. So what I'm doing today is, once again, I'm ranking the Yes albums. Probably over a year ago, I ranked and reviewed all of the Yes albums in individual videos. But I've kind of changed my opinion on one or two of the albums, so I thought I would just rank them again in one video. And also letting you know two other things. I finally have a store that's opened again selling t-shirts kind of like this, except they're not Beatles t-shirts. So please check it out. I've tried to keep the price as low as possible, so I don't really make that much of a profit, but it's a way to advertise my channel. And the other thing is, you can join my Patreon for a 1-week free trial on tier number 1. And you can check out, I think there's over 300 song and album reactions there. So join for a week for free and see what you like, and hopefully you will join. So I have been a big Yes fan for many, many years. In the early 70s, my older brother was the big Yes fan. You know, Fragile, Close to the Edge, Tales from Topographic Oceans, and I just kind of listened to them on the side. I was into my own stuff like Grand Funk Railroad and the Beatles, of course, and many other bands. So I wasn't really a prog rock fan in the early 70s. It took me a while. And it was actually their Tornado tour where I started to actually really become a fan with that particular album, which I know is not considered one of their best, but I've always loved it. And so I saw them on that tour with my brother and started becoming a big fan. So, since John Anderson left Yes, I've never really followed them. I've heard good things about their latest album, and good for them. I don't know if I'll buy it or not, but we'll see. But I'm mainly about John Anderson and Yes. As you will see, I've got everything with, all the studio albums with John Anderson, plus drama. And besides that, I've also got Beyond and Before, the BBC recordings, 1969, 1970. Just came out, I think, last year. 2 CDs, excellent. Keys to Keys to Ascension, the first one, which was stupid. They had, and then Keys to Ascension 2 released the next year, 96 and 97, I believe. So they have new studio tracks plus live recordings. And it was kind of a stupid thing to do. And then later on, they put all of the new studio recordings onto a separate CD called Keys Studio, which is included in the rankings. And I'm not including any live albums in the rankings. Then I've got Yes Shows, and of course, Yes Songs. So I'm going to show you, first of all, in order, the albums I have. Their very first one, Yes. Followed by Time and a Word. The Yes album. Fragile, which was the very first album of theirs I ever heard. Close to the Edge. Tales from Topographic Oceans, Relayer, this was, I think, the very first vinyl, when back in the days of vinyl, the very first new Yes album I ever bought. And I kind of liked it, but I didn't totally get into it at the time. Going for the One. Going for the One. Tornado or Tornado. Drama without John Anderson. 90125. Big Generator. And I am including this because, like the Prog Corner Scott says, this is still Yes. Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. They just couldn't call themselves Yes. And then Union, or Onion, as Rick Wakeman would call it. Talk. Key Studio, which I mentioned earlier. Open Your Eyes. The Ladder. And the final album I have, and the final one with John Anderson, Magnification. So, I'm going to take a few minutes to rank, put these in order, and I'll just quickly review them. I don't want to make this a 2-hour video, if anybody's still watching. And then I'd love your thoughts on all of these Yes albums. What are your favorites and least favorites? I'll be back in a minute. Bye. Or 5 minutes. Yeah, so that took about 5 minutes for me to kind of get them in order. And from what I remember, I think my rankings have changed, quite a bit overall. Some of my least favorite are still at the bottom, and my favorites are still at the top, but in between, it's kind of changed a bit. So there's 19 so there is 19 overall. I'm so excited about the live chat tonight. I hope I don't fall asleep before it. So number 19 is not Rick Wakeman's favorite Yes album. He likes to call it Onion because every time he hears it, it makes him cry. It's just a mess. And I have not played it very much. It kind of gives me a headache. I will, these least favorites, I need to play a bit more, but the few times I played them, it's like I do not like them very much. So that's at the bottom. Number 18, same thing. Open Your Eyes. New State of Mind is great. I don't even remember most of these. Universal Garden. Yeah, Open Your Eyes, I guess. But From the Balcony, I think that was a very nice song. But overall, not one of my favorites. Number 17, Big Generator. Their disappointing follow-up to 90125. It's okay. It's not bad. Number 16, Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe. The Meeting is very nice. Brother of Mine. Yeah. It's okay. Now we're getting into the really good stuff. So I would say after the Beatles and Sparks, Yes is probably my third favorite band. And, with 15 really, really good albums out of 19, that might be one of the reasons. So just remember, I love all of these albums. But This is how I'm ranking them. Number 15, the one without John Anderson, Drama. Excellent album. I almost hate saying it because John Anderson isn't on the album. But yeah, it's a great album. I need to play it more than I have. But yeah, Machine Messiah, Does It Really Happen? Everything on this is great. Number 14, Talk. Actually, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14 and 13, I kind of like the same. 90125 and Talk. And Endless Dream. It's one of their great epic songs. Trevor Rabin, I always liked him in Yes. I thought he was no Steve Howe, but very talented guy. And yeah, The Calling, I Am Waiting, Walls, I love. So both of these. And then, of course, their big hit, Owner of a Lonely Heart, Leave It, and Hearts, one of my favorite Yes songs. So that was 14 and 13. Number 12, their second album, Time and a Word with the Orchestra. And I guess Peter Banks, the guitarist, was a bit miffed. And I do understand it. Some of his guitar work was buried because of the orchestra being so up front in the mix. But I love all of the songs. In fact, I love it as much as their debut. So this is 12 and 11. Some people were saying that their first couple of albums, they were still trying to find their sound or whatever. I kind of disagree. I think their debut album, maybe it wasn't prog rock, like Close to the Edge, but they were such a tight-knit band, even on the first album. And it is just excellent. Beyond and Before, I See You, the Byrds cover, really jazzy. Yesterday and Today is just a gorgeous song. And one of my all-time favorite Beatles covers, Every Little Thing. 2 excellent albums. I play these a lot. Now we're into the top 10. Now, I think quite a few Yes fans would have this album a bit lower, or maybe near the bottom. But like I said, I've always loved it. Tornado. And the song Circus of Heaven, that gets a lot of flack too, because it's, John singing this song, this children's kind of a song, and even his young son does some cute little spoken word in it. I think it's a really sweet song. And Future Times is awesome. Don't Kill the Whale. Release, Release rocks. Arriving UFO is some of the keyboard work by Rick Wakeman is a little on the cheesy side, but I love the album. Number 10. Number 9, thanks to Scott from the Prog Corner. He did a recent ranking of all the Yes albums, and this was in his top 10, and I'm thinking, really? I think this might have been either at the bottom or close to the bottom when I did my ranking a couple of years ago. It just shows you how, in time you give an album more listens and more chances. The Ladder. Last night and this morning I listened to this and I finally love it. I'd always loved the opening track, Homeworld, The Ladder. When Chris Squire's bass comes in around the first minute or so, it's like, oh my God. This is Yes at their best. It just took me, I thought some of the songs were overly cheesy. You know how John Anderson can be with his with his lyrics, but he's singing from the heart, and I just think this is an excellent album now. Never give up on albums, except Union. Number 9, which I think would be higher for other people, but I'm still loving the album, the Yes album. Number 8, Fragile. Number 7, this. Their later albums with John Anderson, I feel, like The Ladder, which I've just kind of got into recently. But their later albums with John Anderson, I think, are very underrated. You Yes fans need to respect these albums more. Go back and listen to them. Key Studio, Footprints, Be the One, Mind Drive, an epic song. And the other epic is That Is, and then Bring Me to the Power and Children of the Light, Footprints, just so good. Number 5, and these 5 could all be number 1. Let's just say they're all number 1. Number 5 at the moment is Going for the One, and just like The Ladder, for quite a few years I didn't totally get this album. I think the production didn't help. But now I absolutely love it. Going for the One, Turn of the Century, Parallels, Wondrous Stories, and The Amazing Awaken. Probably in their top 3? Yeah, top 3 songs. Got to cover up the nudity on my channel. Number 4, I could actually place this higher, but I won't. The final album with John Anderson, Magnification. Once again, they used an orchestra. There's very little keyboards on this, no synthesizers. And some epic songs on this. Give Love Each Day, Soft as a Dove is a gorgeous song once again. Dreamtime, In the Presence of, Time is Time. So good. You Yes fans need to play this more and respect it more. Number 3 would be a lot of Yes fans' number 1 or number 2. Close to the Edge. And I think the reason that it's not as special to me as some of these other albums is because, like I said, growing up, this was my brother's album that he played a lot. So I never really completely connected with it. I had my own albums later on that I connected with first, before this. So some of them mean more to me than this. But still, you can't deny, this is one of the greatest prog albums ever. So number 1 and number 2 could easily interchange, but at the moment, number 2 for me is Relayer. And like I said, I bought this on vinyl when it came out. And I kind of liked it, but I didn't totally get into it. Like for Sound Chaser, I was thinking, they're just trying to show off. But now I get it, all these years later. But I will say, I think as much as people love The Gates of Delirium, it's one of the greatest Yes songs ever. One of the greatest songs ever. I think side 2 is underrated and needs more love. Sound Chaser and To Be Over is also one of my all-time, it'd be in my top 10 for sure, of Yes songs. And number 1 is Scott from the Prog Corner's favorite album of all time, and it would be right up there for me too. Tales from Topographic Oceans. which slowly through the years, I didn't listen to it too much at first, and then slowly I listened to it a bit more and more. And this is the Stephen Wilson remix that came out a few years ago, and that's when I finally appreciated it completely. And anytime I listen to this, I listen to it all the way through. And I know some people think it's overly padded, like Rick Wakeman, but he's wrong. It's just one of the greatest albums ever. So that's my ranking of the Yes albums that I have. I would love your thoughts in the comment section below. And remember to check out my live chat tonight. If today is May 25th, 2023, that is. Bye.